I think we're live. Are we live?
I feel alive.
I'm still alive. I'm not gonna chance it. I don't know how that works. Maybe.
There we go.
But are we seeing it sideways on Instagram? Is what I'm asking.
I'm not sure. I mean, I could always kind of do this. You know,
No,
like
yeah, no.
I can lay down.
Oh, that's just why it looks horrible. I got it now. Take that out and put the good camera in. Oh, now we look human. Now we look human.
Well, I can lay across the table if I have to be horizontal.
Yeah. Just kind of, you know what? I'm gonna just get out of this altogether. There's an echo. Leave. Much better now. We're live.
Magic.
Everybody on Instagram, could you please tell me, or you see it sideways, or are you seeing it normal? So we're going live again today here at Hammerhead Studios. Steve Grillo's Aftershock XL, live on YouTube and Instagram. I think we're live. Anybody there? Are you seeing us sideways, or does this look normal to you? John, could you read that?
I see. We request to be in your live video. And
So,
Rose, I joined.
yeah.
Hello.
So anybody on Instagram that you're watching right now?
You are sideways. There we go.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We could fix that by doing this. And then
we'll just have to hug each other.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
I will sit on your lap and we'll talk about the first thing that pops up. Dude. Scooch in there. There we go. I'm here. I'm live here with the famous John Mantabano.
I don't know about famous.
You're famous. You played with famous people. John is in a band called My World with our very good friend Chris Munger. Chris Munger's out there. How you doing?
Yo.
And don't forget to look. We have two different cameras. We're live on YouTube here. We're live on Instagram here. And Sith Queen better. Thank you, Dana. Say hi to John Mantabano.
Hello, everybody. How are you? It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, this is sort of an impromptu little show we're doing today. And we're at the studio. John was here on some. He had some people that I had to visit that were like in a brothel, but it was business.
It's always business first.
No, it's not a brothel. He just came out here to do some stuff, and he's on his way out. And we go back a long time. So I said, "Yo, why don't you pop over by the studio?" And now we're in the studio. When I might as well jump on and do some stuff.
Yeah,
fancy, very fancy. Look at me. We're all fancy pants. So, John, what do you think? Now, you said this is like the first time you really seen Vegas outside the airport, correct?
Yeah, it's weird because I've had, I think, 2 layovers in my life. And it's like, I'm not really like a gambling person, but I mean, I love performance and obviously the shows and everything like that, a lot of the musical stuff. But most of my time that I spent in Vegas was probably maybe 5 hours total, with like layovers
Well, if you're in Vegas, the Vegas airport, that's a pretty good place to have a layover.
Yeah.
I think Vegas is at the airport here. It's what is it? Something Reed Airport, right?
Yeah, Harry Reid Airport. Right.
It is the most comfortable, I guess, sort of like if you're going to chill out in any airport in the country, it's going to be there. Request to be live in your video. Who is that? I don't know you. Request to be live in the video. I don't know how that works. I'm not sure I'm going to make that happen, but we just figured you'd jump on and do a couple of minutes and say hi and just see who's out there and hanging out and say hello to some people. We were so John. If little people don't know, John's a bassist, a very talented songwriter and bassist, and he tell about you. He's played with somebody that I think everybody would know who they are, and is Public Enemy.
Well, I spent some time as like a house bass player for Chuck D's record label. And I got to work with some really talented people there. It was actually a guy named Kyle Jason who brought me into that. And then I developed a relationship with him and Johnny Juice, who is the DJ producer of Public Enemy, one of the original Bomb Squad members. So we just hit it off when we were in the
need a little more, Johnny. There you go.
So, but we spent hours, days, weeks, and a lot of time in the studio working on tracks for Public Enemy, but a lot of their artists too. So,
did you work directly with Chuck D?
Yeah, I definitely worked on a bunch of tracks with Chuck. When Chuck being in the studio, we did a couple of soundtrack things too. But some of the stuff we did was on about 2 or 3 different albums. And
are you on the liner notes?
It's That's an interesting thing because they didn't have a lot of the. There was a lot of, I guess, cooks in the pot at the time. So some of the liner note stuff never appeared, but on the internet and stuff like that, there's plenty of references for it, which is nice. So, but yeah, no, it was a really great experience, and actually, we have a very, with our band, with My World, we have a very good relationship with Johnny Juice, who's actually playing with us, as a regular part of the group. But he's actually touring with Public Enemy right now. They've been touring with Guns N' Roses. They're doing quite a bit, So it's definitely an honor to have them play with us and to be able to work with each other again.
So, and you are part of the reason. I think you're the main reason why I became friends with DMC, because I saw DMC at it was Comic-Con.
A Comic-Con.
He was
right.
a lot of people don't know that. If you don't know, DMC is definitely a comic geek.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sort of like he's a nerd.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think like one of the baddest hip hop artists in the world is a nerd. I think he just wrote a children's book.
I don't know.
Yeah, he did. He wrote a children's book on top of the fact that he's selling cookies. DMC loves cookies, I believe, and they're really good.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of your name broke the ice with DMC,
Right.
and then that's sort of how I established a relationship.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
supposed to come on, and then I don't know. We were supposed to do it on a Sunday, and then he just
Sure.
kind of went silent. And I tried to, it's always Chris Munger sent a message
Yeah.
where Chris Munger, we're talking about you. We're talking about all the awful things that you do to torture John Mantabano.
I'm used to being tortured.
My favorite story about you and Chris Munger, you guys were roommates at one point, correct?
Yes, definitely.
And that Chris Munger was the Comedy Central music director.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I just remember, and he would bring all these, and you were actually doing his work for his homework for him, weren't you?
Oh, that was way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was doing
We
the
go way
homework. You were doing
Chris's homework, but that was in college.
Yeah. And then Chris brings a whole bunch of people back to the apartment, and then this is my favorite story. And then you're sitting there on the typing up Chris's homework, and Chris decides to smash a chair or something, and so the piece of the chair hits you in the back of the head, and you just go, "Hey," and then you went back to doing the homework.
That sounds very, very much like definitely. It's like it was a great time living together because it was a really great moment in history because Chris was basically we both got our start in music together. So we've both been friends since we were teenagers, and then
And you guys are complete opposites. You're like yin and yang. You're a black and white cookie. You know what I'm saying? Chris being black.
I'm the milky cookie.
Yes,
that's right. But Chris had started with in the mailroom at Comedy Central and built relationships, that kind of really formed our music adventure, even today, so that was a great time. It was a really great time. I don't want to tell Chris's stories because Chris has some amazing stories.
Well, and then you guys too, like, because you guys were, and it was all because of the wonderful, great Larry Divney.
Well, that was one of the things. That one interesting story was, at the Larry, and I don't want to tell Chris's story necessarily, but
You can do it. It's okay.
they
Nobody's watching.
They sent Chris home with a VHS tape, of actually, and Larry and the gave the tape to Chris and said, "I want you to take this home and check it out. This is something we're considering picking up." So Chris brings the tape home, and I'm with him, and it was actually the very first pilot, the first short of South Park, So and it was with this thing where it had like a battle between Jesus Christ and Santa Claus.
Well, that thing went viral too. Like that was viral before viral because I remember getting a copying of that.
That's
sort of like the Jerky Boys,
yes,
like
exactly.
I think the Jerky Boys were really the first vinyl thing.
Oh, definitely.
I got viral
tape.
Yeah, the red tape. I didn't get that. I got the Jerky Boys because I speak to Johnny Brennan all the time.
Oh,
Johnny Brennan's like a really good guy. It's the guy, Frank Rizzo. I wrap your fucking head in with a ratchet.
Classic.
So, but I remember coming home from high school, and that's the first thing we did is we went in my buddy's basement, and we put on the Jerky Boys tape, and we listened to it over and over. And then someone made a copy, and then another person. And then it was like a Queens, Brooklyn thing at first.
Long Island too.
Yeah,
it was part of everyday dialogue.
Yeah. Oh my God! But we sat there and laughed every single time we listened to it. We laughed just as hard as the first time. And the weird thing is, I become friends with Johnny Brennan, and now I take the tape, and I got my place upstate New York.
Right.
I take the tape upstate. Now we're all listening to it at the campground.
Right.
Now years later, I'm talking to Johnny Brennan, and I'm like, well, what? And I said, yeah. I said, I have a place up in Wurtsboro, New York. He goes, oh, my aunt has a place in Wurtsboro, New York. And I go, really? Where? He goes, in Somerville. I go, that's where my place is, in Somerville. And I was like, said blah, blah, blah road. He goes, yeah, he goes, every year my aunt has a big party.
Right.
And I go, that's your fucking aunt? I was like, you guys take up the whole fucking road. They used to have these big parties.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you literally couldn't drive up this road. His aunt was literally half a mile down from where I was. And the weird thing is the fact that I was there listening to the Jerky Boy tapes, and he was a half a mile down the road. And we had no idea. We didn't realize that until like years later. And now every year his aunt still has the party, and I always go down and say hello.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it was so going back to everything going viral. So South Park, that tape went around viral.
Yeah, I mean,
before the internet or anything.
I mean, that was the very first time I ever saw it before. And it's like, and I'm like, I err on the side err on the side of conservatism or whatever the hell that's called. So it had this whole thing with the battle between Jesus Christ and Santa Claus, and I'm like, I don't know if TV's ready for that. But well, thank God they didn't take my opinion, because or else life would have been very, very different. And but then it exploded, and Comedy Central turned into, went from a station with very little original programming to like this whole huge success, and it was great for us because we were, the company was still fairly small. And
keep talking.
Oh no, do you have to go pee?
No, keep talking. I got my glasses.
So, but yeah, so they, again, they just really exploded. They really exploded, and it was great for us because the company was still small at the time. So whenever we perform in Manhattan or in the city area, everyone from the station would come and see us play. We actually played so many of their events, their private events. So we became the soundtrack of it all. And then the beauty of it is that as everybody from there progressed in their career.
I got to say hi to Nick. What's up, Nicky boy?
Hey, Nick. I don't know you yet.
Plums joined. That's Nicky.
Nice.
Yeah. Shh.
Oh.
And then we got some people here on YouTube. There's Hope 3 said, "Hey, you guys look like you play guitar." How you doing, Hope? Nice to see you. I just want to acknowledge that Hayden is live on Instagram with us right now, and Gordon Chucko. This is the fun part when people like it. Sometimes it gets a little wild for everybody to start joining in, and all of a sudden, once it picks up, it starts to take off. I seem to get a better response from Instagram than TikTok, but I know the importance of TikTok. So
sure.
I'll be doing something like that over the weekend. I really want to sort of get into live TikTok. And don't forget, Gorilla Parts is available on Instagram. No, it's on
what?
Amazon and Audible. You can listen to me in the car when you're stuck in traffic. That'll make things go by fast.
It's available by carrier pigeon.
What? Yeah, exactly. What are you guys talking about? We're talking about John and his What's Up King App 13. I had to put my glasses on because I got two different screens. I'm gonna have to figure this out because this is all new. I'm gonna be doing this a lot, John. This is gonna be my new career is gonna be making people annoyed on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook because I'm gonna be doing this every day.
You have a history of annoying people.
Yeah, I know.
But I happen to love it.
Well,
I do.
Yes. Yeah. This is an autographed copy from my cat, who decided that he wanted to get in on the action. Upgrade decided he wanted to autograph my book as well.
Love it.
So if you want, I should have an auction for my cat's autograph on my book. If you want to get my autographed upgrade copy, let me know because it's very precious.
I gotta say, with your book, it's like, I mean, we're about the same age,
Yeah.
like
You're a little older.
we're 23. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, I kind of grew up in that period of time where you were on the Stern Show, and, and the great thing about the book is it adds so much, like, the inside stories that, the unspoken stories just help to really put the history together.
Yeah. Well, the cool
in
thing,
a great way.
I didn't want to just focus on, because I had,
that's right.
there's a story about my childhood growing up in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That sort of starts everything up. And then it gets into my wrestling in high school and how wrestling in high school got me to Hunter College. And if I didn't go to Hunter College, I would have never been on the Howard Stern Show. And that's a fact. And then it goes to how I got into the Howard Stern Show, and then, the nightclub business and Scores. And then after that, working on The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Some dude I love enjoying people too. Okay, Hope. Thank you, Hope. I hope Hope's a girl, because I knew a Hope that was really pretty.
Yeah.
So, but there is no Hope though. There's a Hope on
There's one
YouTube.
right
Yeah, and then Take It Outside. Don't disrespect. Yeah, yes. Part of the stories is how I got my part on The Sopranos, how I became AJ stand-in on The Sopranos. There's a couple interesting chapters about me and my ex-wife and how that went down. And there's just a lot of fun, interesting stuff. It's not just me trashing Howard Stern, but I did tell the truth. But you were talking about Comedy Central and Larry Divney, and Larry Divney signed all those big shows like Chappelle and the Daily Show, and you guys were all kind of involved. You did music for South Park?
We did. Well, our first the coolest gig that we did, the very first break, wasn't for the South Park show, but they were the first. They actually did an interactive website. So they had like these little token like South Park video games. So one of our first really cool paid gigs was, I think we probably got maybe $4,000, where we could actually bought like a digital recorder, took it home and recorded music and wrote music for the South Park video games on their website. So that was the first thing. And it was great because, then they put like a whole advertisement on it for us, on the website. And this is when the internet was still pretty new, which was really kind of cutting edge for the time. So it's like, it was before like the really advanced video games, it was.
I remember the Simpsons video game came out, and I was like, it was when you had dial up, and it was just like really, it was exciting, and then all of a sudden it wasn't, because you realize this is fucking really bad. So, and then Larry Divney was sort of like the rock for Chris Munger. Like, he's the one who was like, he believed in Chris Munger, and he sort of gave the whole thing. But the funny thing about me and Chris at that time, he was at Comedy Central, I was at K-Rock, and I guess Larry Divney's the president or the CEO, or he was what? He was in charge. Yeah, but he was a big deal. He was the boss, and like on the direct other side was Tom Chiusano, who was running K-Rock and dealing with Howard and all that shit. And they both knew each other. They both sort of came up from the same, like, it's like they were bred.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like to become like, the general manager or the head of, these companies. And the difference, and they knew each other. They came up together, and they both, Larry Divney went to Comedy Central and Tom Chiusano went to like Infinity Broadcasting. But the difference was Chris was working in the mailroom, and he was like, and everybody like talked about Chris, and Larry realized that Chris was a talented musician, and he gave him his dream job. And right across a couple blocks down, I'm at K-Rock dealing with Tom Chiusano, who wouldn't pay me for the 60 hours that I worked and wouldn't give me a position or a title, And the funny thing is, Chris lucked out with Larry Divney, and I got the shit end of the stick with Tom Chiusano. And it was the same time, same exact time. It was like, I'm surprised we never bumped into each other,
And you probably did. I remember going to some events, and I remember seeing Stuttering John at one of the events that we went to. So there was definitely some some cross.
Was he a dick to you? Yes, he was. He a dick. Did you meet him? Did you hang out with him?
No, I didn't hang out.
Okay.
It just anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
No big deal. But it was but yeah, little thing is, Larry, absolutely, but also, Chris really earned the respect and recognition of a lot of people there who moved on to different areas of the entertainment industry, and that was important. I think that was the thing. It's, when having talent is one thing, but having the the gaining respect from people, personal respect, really goes a long way. And I think that's what really did it. You know what I mean? I think that's what really did it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know what today is, John Mantabano?
It is.
It's Friday. You know what Friday is here out in Casita in Las Vegas?
No.
That's the day when the guys come with the leaf blower, which is going to interrupt us. I don't want to. So we're probably just going to cut this a little short. But I just wanted to come on and just shake the. So we got Xavier, Flatbush. You know what Brooklyn and Pantyhose have in common?
No.
Flatbush.
I always thought it was Brooklyn in tight jeans.
Oh no, Flatbush. Come on. So so we were talking. I don't know if I can announce it yet, but like a good friend of ours came up with it's going to happen. I guess we can call it. It's called the Cruciclock, and he's got 250. Roy McDonald, God bless you. That has 250 Jackie the Joke Man jokes, and it's a clock, and it's basically Jesus telling bad jokes. Ignacio Leone, I'll call you back. So so it was like it's a great concept. It's like Jesus telling jokes on the cross. I'm in, but it's not Jesus. It's somebody getting crucified. It's not Jesus. So like there's no direct mention of Jesus. It's someone's on a cross getting crucified that just happens to look like Jesus. I'm sure there was a lot of people that got crucified that look like Jesus.
They had long hair, beards.
Yeah.
Well,
hold on. I want to say Hope. John's a bassist. I'm nothing. I have no musical talent. No, none. I still got it. Xavier Flatbush. Ha. So one of the jokes in the Cruciclock was the couple are having sex, and the husband says, "Oh, did I hurt you?" She goes, "No, why?" He goes, "You moved." And the greatest thing about these things, everybody thinks they can memorize the jokes, and they can't. Okay, so here's the other one. So a woman comes to her husband and says, "I want breast implants." He goes, "We can't afford breast implants. Just take a piece of toilet paper and rub it in between your boobs." He goes, "Is that going to make them bigger?" He goes, "Well, it'll work for your ass." I bet Epstein buy one Jackie if he was still alive. Yeah. Epstein's still alive. What are you talking about? It's a collaboration. So
he was still alive.
Yeah, no, he's still alive. They didn't kill him. No, they walked him out the back. There's a conspiracy. I didn't change the name. It says Richard Prinzi. Richard Prinzi is the reason why we're all here. And if anybody has their taxes or need any taxes, they're done. It's Professional Tax Alliance for Richard Prinzi. DM me. I will hook you up with them. We'll work out some type of awesome discount. We'll figure something out. He's in the other room. I should have asked him before that. So Richard Prinzi, go to Richard Prinzi, Professional Tax Alliance. He's the reason why we're here at the studio. Richard's going to be doing some financial advice shows in the coming weeks. We have a couple of things. I'm going to be putting some stuff out. You can check out, but he has the most professional tax. Like, he has a crew of staff of really professional people that are really good. That you would probably benefit because you go on tour and you get all those 1099s. You get
sure.
Like your freelance paycheck. He's a master at like a lot of his clients are all musicians.
That's cool.
Because like all the people on the road, and that he has this program called Go Justo that keeps track of all your finances. We'll have a launch show with Richard so he can explain it a lot better. But if you need your taxes done, Professional Tax Alliance, DM me, whatever you got to do. I'll hook you up with Rich because he got me out of some trouble before.
Would he be able to help me launder that money I have like under the floorboards in my house?
No.
No, okay. I just want to check. I've been collecting dollar bills ever since I was 5.
Yeah.
Just all these single under the
floorboards
in my
house. Do your Hasid face. No. Come on. John turns into an instant Hasidic Jew.
Hey, it's my background.
It's his side gig.
My side gig, right.
He's over in Crown Heights.
Hey,
hanging with the homies.
I'm half Sicilian.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody invaded Sicily, so I probably have a little bit of everything in me. So.
Yeah, well, I'm an honorary Jew. I played a Jew on stage for 3 years in Grandma Sylvia's funeral, so I know more than you did.
I saw you in that.
You really did.
I did see you in that. Yes, that's right. And before we even knew each other.
Yeah, but what's funny? When I first met John, I was like, I know you.
Yep.
I know you.
Yep.
And it took me about 10 years to figure out that you look like somebody I wrestled with in high school named Steve Kennedy. And I was like, finally one day he popped up on Facebook, Steve Kennedy, and I was like, That's why I think I know John Mantabano. It drove me nuts for years. I was like, for years when I first met you, I was like, I know you. And you were like, no. And then I figured out he has he's got a couple doppelgangers, this guy.
Well, I never participated in naked wrestling, so I don't know. So that's probably why, I mean,
Yeah. So are people saying that Jackie knows Epstein? I don't understand. Was he on there? Did he take me to? I didn't know that. What was he in a picture with him at some point? Everybody's going to jump on the bandwagon with that.
Yeah. This is the weird thing, right? Is that, I mean, I remember crazy, insane parties in the 80s.
Hold on, wait. There's Rich Frenzy, professional tax line. Say hello.
What's up, guys?
We were just talking about you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Something good.
Of course.
Yes,
The
definitely.
best guy in the business. So no big deal.
But it's like I remember these parties in the 80s and 90s, even stuff that I was not even young enough to attend. And there's so much chaos going on in that whole entire world. And it's like, and just because someone's in a picture with somebody else, like, I don't, and it's like, you find yourself, I've been to parties before. I'm like, yeah, this isn't my scene. And I'd cut out.
Yeah.
So it was not my thing. But if someone snapped a picture of me, in one of those situations, that there he is. He
Busted.
was there. He did it. So hey, I'm a realist. You know what I mean? If there's facts, I'm in. I get it.
Yeah.
If I believe something is true, it's like I'm not going to speculate whether something is true or not. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense. And that's the guilt of the burden of the internet and social media. Is people spewing bullshit as fact, So
yeah.
Enough soapbox bullshit.
Would you use my book as a soapbox?
Soapbox.
So all right, I think we're gonna wrap it up because the leaf blower guy is outside. It's Friday. It's time to do landscaping. So
that's what I'm here for. I'm gonna.
Yeah, John's got a rake in his.
That's right.
In the car, he's going to start
right.
raking. But thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah.
Hope, by the way, if you're still listening, you can still get. It's not that expensive. I think it's like $14.95 on Amazon. I think the Audible's even cheaper, so you have no excuse. Save your bubblegum wrappers, or go get a couple of cans and cash them in. You could get the money for this whole.
I got mine in Portuguese. Yes.
You look Portuguese. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Oh no, go off. Leave now. Save is real. Okay, we're gonna come up here and end stream. Goodbye, YouTube.